Welcome to the channel. Sometimes the hardest truths don't come from being betrayed by others. They come from realizing you were the one who broke everything. Sometimes they come from realizing the person you loved never loved you the same way. And sometimes they come from learning that family loyalty has limits, especially when promises are broken. These are 3 real stories about guilt, loss, and boundaries. And all of them ask the same question. When trust is broken, what does anyone really owe anyone anymore? The first story comes from a woman who chose to confess everything, knowing it might destroy her life. She says that after weeks of guilt and internal pressure, she finally told her husband the truth. Not just part of it. Not the softened version. Not the version that made her look better. She told him about the emotional cheating, the messages, the pictures, the sexual conversations with strangers online. And she told him about the physical cheating too. The moment she crossed the line in real life at the end of December. She didn't go into graphic details, but she didn't hide anything important either. And when she saw the pain in his voice as he asked the basic questions who, when, how it broke her, she answered honestly, completely. No excuses, no deflection. She expected anger. She expected screaming. She expected rage, accusations, insults, emotional explosions. But instead, she got silence. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't insult her. He didn't argue. He didn't even ask more questions. He just said he needed time and space. And since then, he's barely spoken to her. He avoids daily conversation. He spends more time away from home. When he leaves, he always tells her in advance. He still respects the structure of their family life. He still communicates logistics. He still helps with the kids. But emotionally, he's gone. She offered everything: therapy, full transparency, access to her phone, access to her accounts, answers to any questions, counseling, accountability. She offered to rebuild herself from the ground up if that's what it took. But she knows something feels final. She feels like he's preparing for divorce, quietly, calmly, logically, like someone making a decision, not reacting to pain. And that hurts more than anger would. She says the worst part isn't the silence, it's the calm, the composure, the control, the emotional distance, the way he treats her like someone he's already separating from. She says she almost wishes he would explode, yell at her, say cruel things, let the anger out, let her see the hurt. Let her feel the damage emotionally instead of this quiet emotional exile. Because in her mind, this silence feels like acceptance, like emotional closure, like preparation. She feels helpless because there's nothing she can do anymore. No action left. No apology left. No repair left. No gesture left. She already crossed the line. And now she's waiting for the consequences to arrive. And the waiting feels worse than the punishment. Reddit verdict style summary. Yida emotionally, but honest accountability acknowledged. Most responses agree that consequences don't have to look loud to be final, and silence can be a form of closure. The second story comes from someone who didn't betray, but was replaced. She says she was with her high school sweetheart for 8 years. 8 years of history, attachment, memories, routines, shared growth, shared identity. The last year was unstable, on and off, emotional chaos. He was constantly disrespecting her dating apps, messaging other women, sending money, talking to girls behind her back. She finally broke it off because she couldn't live in comparison anymore. But he kept coming back, apologizing, promising change, saying he missed her, saying his family missed her, saying he wanted to fix things, saying he wanted her back in his life. And because of attachment, she let him. Then something shifted. Suddenly, he started saying his family hated her, that she wasn't welcome anymore, that he didn't want her at his birthday, that they were just friends. But he was still sleeping over, still taking her out, still having sex with her, still acting like they were together privately while denying her publicly. One night at the gym, she noticed a girl messaging him. She confronted him. His face went pale. Her gut told her something was wrong, so she messaged the girl herself. And what she saw broke her. He was telling this girl that she meant nothing, that she was cheating on him, that she wouldn't leave him alone, that he didn't know how to say no to her. He painted her as the problem, as the burden, as the unstable ex, as the obstacle. Later, she found out they were talking intimately online. Phone sex, emotional connection, deep bonding before they had even met in real life. Fast forward a year, they're dating, engaged, public, official, posting online, showing off their relationship. And she's left with the damage. She says she hasn't contacted him, she hasn't chased him, she hasn't interfered. But the betrayal sits in her chest. The man who destroyed her now has a fairy tale ending, and she's left trying to rebuild herself from emotional ruins. She ran into his mom at a grocery store. His mom admitted it was weird, that she supported her from afar, that she knew her son did her wrong but that he's still her son. And she understood that. She says she's not rushing love, she's not desperate, she's not chasing relationships. But sometimes it drives her insane to think about how someone who caused so much damage gets a happy ending while she's still healing. Reddit verdict style summary. NTA community consensus says emotional betrayal, replacement trauma, and gaslighting cause deep psychological damage. And healing takes time. Replacement relationships don't mean closure. The third story is different. This one isn't about betrayal between lovers, it's about boundaries with family. A couple made an agreement with both sets of parents before having children. Both sides were retired. Both sides were excited. Both sides promised help with childcare until preschool age. The plan was shared responsibility, rotating weeks, structured schedules, family support. Then the baby arrived. 10 weeks after birth, the wife's parents changed their minds. They wanted to travel, enjoy retirement, live freely, enjoy their elder years. So they backed out completely. The couple struggled. Childcare became overwhelming. The husband's parents stepped in as much as they could, but full-time care wasn't possible. So the couple built a complex system: partial childcare, partial paid daycare, split work schedules, half days, rotating coverage, constant adjustments. And in 6 years, the in-laws never watched the kids even once. Not one day, not one afternoon, not one emergency, nothing. Fast forward, the couple buys a new house. The in-laws come over. The father-in-law sees the downstairs master bedroom and says, "Oh, thank God, we won't have to do stairs." He casually assumes they'll live there one day. The mother-in-law agrees and says it makes sense because their daughters' family is doing the best financially. The husband laughs out loud and says, "Hell would freeze before you live here." They're shocked, offended, hurt. He explains that when they needed help, they were abandoned. When they were overwhelmed, there was no support. When they were struggling, there was no village. So now the boundary is clear. They won't live there. The wife agrees. She explains how hard it was raising kids with zero help from one side of the family while still being expected to provide care later. The in-laws are devastated. They feel betrayed. They feel rejected. They feel hurt. But the couple feels justified. Reddit verdict style summary. NTA boundaries are not punishment, they are consequences. Promises matter. Support isn't one-directional. Family obligation isn't automatic when loyalty was one-sided. 3 stories. 3 types of betrayal. One from guilt. One from loss. One from broken promises. But they all teach the same truth. Love doesn't guarantee loyalty. History doesn't guarantee respect. Family doesn't guarantee support. And silence doesn't mean forgiveness. Sometimes the damage is loud. Sometimes the damage is quiet. Sometimes the damage looks like rage. Sometimes it looks like calm. Sometimes it looks like walking away without a word. And sometimes the strongest thing a person can do isn't to fight. It's to accept, to let go, to set boundaries, and to move forward without needing closure from the people who broke them. Because not every ending needs noise. Some endings just need distance. If you made it this far, you already understand something important. Not every story has a villain. And not every story has a hero. But every story has consequences. And the hardest ones are the quiet ones. Thank you for watching. See you in next video.